So every now and then, they're going to go to breaks such as these. But we're going to speak on all things cricket, and I'll bring in my colleague who would like to have me here, Lunga Kupiso. Lunga, please come and join me as we wait for Mzansi Super League to carry on. Let's start right there. The tournament began a couple of days ago. We're on match 11 as we speak for now. Complaints, I know, I'm not happy. The crowds are not out there as much as we'd like to see them. But at the end of the day, second year running, where are we?
Well, second year running, Taviso, and also we must take into consideration there's a lot happening. People haven't still gone to their holiday destinations. So the competition is competing potentially with exams for university students, exams for high school students, and families usually that would take their families to the stadiums, supporting their kids and making sure that they've got the academic support. So the start of the tournament is going to seem slow as far as supporters and bums and seats is concerned. But it's not a sign that we're not going to get fans.
Speak to us about the competition as a whole now. I mean, in general, when you speak of Mzansi Super League, the complaint was, is it as good as, okay, we can never compare with IPL. I mean, we're not going to start. We can never compare with the big boys of cricket, if we can put it that way. The competition, you're as good as the competition that you have playing against each other. Are we there yet in as far as getting the bums on seats? Because that plays a big role, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does play a big role, but I think perhaps where we've got some missing kinks, or where the kinks are as far as our competition is concerned, is the star power or the star quality that we get in for the team. So, for example, some of the teams have got superstars who used to be big names within households, big pullers in terms of getting people to the stadiums, but their form is not necessarily form that anyone would put big money on. So, for example, the Josie team has got Chris Gale, and Chris Gale has been struggling for form of recent times. So, if he was to be
Dale Steyn, I was speaking about him trying to roll back the years. I think it took 2 wickets. You know, so the names are there, aren't they?
The names are there. But it's whether the performance does back the names or not, and people will support good performances. So what you will see is, as the South Africans start to build on their performances and actually start to own the competition, then people are going to get behind that. And I think maybe that's something that the Mzansi Super League needs to start looking at doing, is actually backing South African talent, because people love to back good old South African stories. Look at the Springboks. Look at how the Eastern Cape has gotten behind their boys and trying to claim them as theirs. So if those kind of stories start to get out of the cricket, then people are going to go.
Because I mean, the interesting thing for me, in particular for the Proteas and the Mzansi Super League, we had Rassie van der Dussen, who was a star performer last season, and we saw him in the green and gold of South Africa. Unearthed, or we saw him here. He's played very well. It was worth the buy, if I can put it that way.
Yes, worth the money, every penny of it, and he was a good, what you call, return of investment in business, and he actually went on to do exactly what this Mzansi Super League is supposed to do, which is to serve the national team. And not only did he become a product of the MSL, but actually went on to the Proteas and actually did well. So it's a tournament that can only pick up form. Where I want South Africans, though, is we mustn't be too pessimistic. We must also understand that it's going to take time to get to the point where we are as big as the IPL. And honestly, we will only become as big as the IPL if we actually push ourselves to get to the stadiums. So tweeting about it is not going to help. The journalists writing negative stories about the tournament and not actually getting behind the tournament is not going to help either.
Most importantly as well, it's about the office, administratively, the back office of Cricket South Africa, how they come to the party. And I think part of our conversation tonight is exactly that. The crux behind all things good, Lunga, all things we want to see, Lunga, as far as cricket is concerned, is that director of cricket. Let's go through that. A lot of talking points on who the next big boss will be. We saw Rassie Erasmus, director of rugby, coach as well. The Springboks come back at the World Cup. What is the story behind that?
Well, look, Cricket South Africa announced that they're going to look for a director of cricket, and they're going to appoint someone post the India tour. Then we saw at the beginning of the week that Graham Smith, towards the end of last week, Graham Smith tweeting that he had gone for an interview, but because he couldn't get to a point where he could agree with Cricket South Africa on how he is going to run the team, he has then unfortunately had to relinquish that opportunity, provided he was going to get it.
I was just going to say, how do you pull out of a position that you have not received yet?
Yeah, and also just the way that then we have jumped onto the bandwagon of Graham Smith would have done well without actually knowing whether he would have done well, because he's got no prior engagements in a similar position. For us, I think we are sort of pushing an agenda that doesn't help build our cricket. But also from a cricketing perspective, from administration, it doesn't help that CSA is mum on some of the these things that do go on, come out and actually address.
I think the question then, before we get to other names, Hussein Manak being one of them, there's quite a few that put their hands up for this job. The importance of a director of cricket, what would it be? I mean, what would you, if you say you were a selector, you're sitting there, you're a board of Cricket South Africa, you're saying you want a director of cricket, what would you be looking for that role?
Well, I think you want somebody who's got experience in terms of international cricket, not necessarily somebody who's played international cricket, but they've got a good understanding of international cricket.
Because I was just about to say, Jeffrey Tuana would be one of those people, isn't it?
Somebody who's got good understanding of international cricket, has got great relationships with the current crop of players, understands the South African system in terms of development, understands the ethos of Cricket South Africa or where Cricket South Africa wants to go, and tries to find a way of blending those two. So the tricky thing now with an international team is trying to make sure that the Proteas are a happy camp without deviating from the main vision of the mother body, which is Cricket South Africa. And I think that's where currently the big missing link is at. And you're getting now, obviously we are trophy hungry, success hungry with the Proteas, and we are looking at the Springboks and saying, well, if Rassie Erasmus could come in for 18 months, was a director and the coach, then maybe we should find somebody who can do that as well.
Because this is my question, isn't it? I mean, we sit here with a Rassie. I mean, Rassie, when Rassie was appointed, was, are we sure, is he the right pick? But the nice thing with Rassie is that because, or maybe, my opinion anyway, we didn't give him much, hope. And he went in there. He didn't have the baggage, so to speak, of all of the things he's saying. And he took a formula that worked, and it worked throughout, because the praises that he's been getting from the camp, in particular the players with Siya Kolisi, is that you just let us be who you are.
You watch the interviews that come out of Japan, and the guys will tell you that probably the biggest thing and the turning point in that Springboks is, at the beginning it didn't go too well for Rassie. Even Rassie himself admits that had I lost in New Zealand, I would have resigned from my job. The turning point was Rassie set the guys down. And he said, this is what I expect from you, this is what I need from you, this is what the country needs from you, and if we can't go there, then perhaps we're not the right match. And the boys went out to play for him. So it's not to say that there weren't any issues going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we know what's been happening at SA Rugby. It's been widely reported. It's not all candles and roses here. It's not a fun time, and they've been cash-strapped. That is no hidden secret. But they got in somebody, they backed him for the sole purpose of sending a team at the World Cup to go and compete. Whether we can do something like that with the cricket, are we going to put somebody who's going to take us to the T20 World Cup and actually win, and then after that look to rebuild, or are we building towards the 50-over cricket World Cup that's coming on in 4 years?
Can I ask the name? Just throw a name, the Corey van Zyl.
Well, he has been there. And he hasn't done anything that has helped us win a tournament. So maybe we should look at someone else who can actually take us to that point and win. He has been given the opportunity. He has the stripes, he has the experience, but he has been there before.
Well, Lunga Kupiso, thank you. It's always nice to have your insights. All things cricket, this man. In fact, this interview can go on and on and on. Unfortunately, it is Lotto evening, so did you play?
Is it too late?
Too late, Chief. It's coming in a couple of minutes' time. That's unfortunately how we have to call the show for tonight. Stay with us on SABC News Channel. Lottery comes up in a couple of minutes. Hopefully you get those millions, and if you do, please call us and share with us. Sports Live at SABC.co.za. For myself and Chim and Lunga, bye-bye. Cheers.